When the Liaoning carrier formation breaks through the waves of the second island chain, and when 270 H6s weave a steel net over the Asia-Pacific, what time is the airborne phantom called Kunpeng waiting for before tearing the curtain off? The H6 family, the world's largest bomber fleet, has become a strategic hammer over the Asia-Pacific with more than 230 aircraft and continuously upgraded, modernized and improved models. The H6K-N, derived from the Soviet Tu-16, has extended its range to 8,000 kilometers by replacing it with a new engine, avionics system and aerial refueling capability, and the mounted Hawk 12 supersonic anti-ship missiles and air-launched hypersonic weapons are enough to bring hotspots such as Japan, South Korea, the South China Sea and the Taiwan Straits into the network of firepower coverage. Its huge number of saturation strike capability, and even by the U.S. military report 33 times marked as difficult to cope with the threat. After all, a 9-plane formation splashed 54 missiles, metal rainstorm. After all, a 9-aircraft formation dropping 54 missiles is enough to make any carrier battle group tremble. However, the essence of the H6N is a geopolitical game of the stage product. When the Liaoning fleet first broke into the waters 300 kilometers southwest of Japan's Minami Torishima Island in June 2025, China's national defense radius has been clearly pointed to the depth of the second island chain. Guam, a U.S. military stronghold 3,000 kilometers away from mainland China. Pearl Harbor is even 8,000 kilometers away, even if the H6 strives to extend the arm, but still need to rely on high-risk aerial refueling in order to reach, and as a medium-sized bomber, it's 35 tons of actual combat bombing capacity. It is also difficult to support the sustained strategic suppression of far-off targets. More critically, the evolution of modern air defense and anti-stealth systems has forced the bomber to possess the ability to penetrate without being detected, which is precisely the historical mission assigned to the H-20. In June 2025, the Ministry of Defense officially confirmed that the winged Kunpeng had been deployed to the Army. The H-20's emergence has completely rewritten the power equation in the Western Pacific. With a radar reflective cross-section of 0.01 square meters, equivalent to that of a sparrow, that makes GAM's radar station myopic and unable to capture anything. There is no capture, plasma coating, and full-spectrum stealth technology fusion, more infrared signals and electronic radiation shielding, the former effective anti-stealth meter wave radar in front of its lost sharpness, and 12,000 kilometers without refueling range, means that from the Chinese base takeoff can be directly pounced on the west coast of the United States. The return trip can also be detoured to Pearl Harbor, sightseeing. If the oil tanker 20 air refueling, the radius of the strike can be covered by the Pacific Ocean. Any coordinates. The H-20's deterrent power can be summarized far beyond the range data. Its built-in bomb bay adopts a modularized weapon management system, which can be flexibly configured with 4 Eagle 21 anti-ship ballistic missiles, or 12 Longsword 20 cruise missiles, and even accommodate a scaled-down air-launched version of the DF-26, a carrier killer, with a range of 3,000 kilometers. This carrier killer, with a range of 3,000 kilometers, would expose the hangars at Andersen Base in Guam to a direct hit. Even deadlier is the Cloud Kill Chain system. One H-20 can command 12 Strike 11 stealth drones to form a swarm brain via a quantum encrypted data chain. When the mother plane is hovering in safe airspace, the drone swarm has already carried 160 small precision-guided munitions into the enemy's air defense circle, implementing electronic suppression, radar decoys and multi-wave saturation attacks. The Pentagon's 2024 military projection shows that intercepting such mixed formations would require consuming 90% of the munitions reserves of 9 medium-range missile battalions, and that's just for the cost of stopping one H-20. H-20's lateness is actually China's military industry's ultimate pursuit of cost-effectiveness. Compared to the B-2 as high as $2.4 billion per unit price, and the sky-high maintenance cost of $130,000 per flight hour. H-20 through 3 major innovations to achieve the dimensional impact, material revolution, 3D printing titanium alloy mainframe so that the structure of the weight reduction of 40%, the life of the domestic super tough composite skin up to 80,000 flight hours, power breakthroughs, turbofan 18 engine with ceramic composite turbine, thrust up to 18 tons at the same time, infrared signal is reduced by 90%, and fuel consumption is only 65% of the B-2's F118 engine. Intelligent maintenance, the onboard health prediction system, can warn of failures 300 hours in advance, and the ground robots make the overhaul cycle compressed from the B2's 12 months to 3 months. The end result is shocking. The H-20 unit price is kept under $800 million, and the cost per flight hour is only 180,000 yuan, the equivalent of flying a strategic bomber, with the operating costs of an F-35. The RAND report bemoans that China has achieved the combat power of the B-2 on a B-21 budget, while leaving its adversaries unable to afford the cost of interception. The operational deployment of the H-20 is reshaping the balance of power in the region, and in August 2025, when radar at a Guam base first recorded an unidentified flying object cruising along the outer edge of the air defense identification zone at Mach 0.8, the U.S. military rushed to take off 6 F-22s to intercept it, but came up empty-handed. The same U.S. aircraft that had been intercepted by satellite imagery. After the satellite images show that the same time H-20 fleet is Lingshui base, in Hainan Lingshui rehearsal hot refueling. This phantom deterrent directly led to the U.S. military 3 strategic adjustments. Pearl Harbor defense upgrade. The original deployment of the Middle East SAD system urgently transferred to Hawaii, costing $4.7 billion to build a deep-buried munitions depot. Distributed combat bankruptcy. The plan is to disperse to the Pacific Ocean the F-35 fleet. Distributed operations bankruptcy. The planned dispersal of the F-35 fleet to the Pacific Islands was stalled due to the lack of reinforced airframes that could support H-20 level strikes. Naval strategic transformation. The carrier battle group was forced to retreat to east of 160 degrees east longitude, and there was a power vacuum in the western Pacific Ocean in terms of sea control. A more far-reaching impact lies in the nuclear balance. The H-20, together with the 094B nuclear submarine, and the DF-41, forms a trinity, enabling China to have a full-area nuclear counterstrike capability against the U.S. for the first time. Its air-launched hypersonic glide warheads can cover the interior of North America in 30 minutes, and the Pentagon has to admit that the success rate of the West Coast anti-missile system in intercepting it is less than 15%. The real fear of the H-20 is that it is not an isolated weapon platform, but the nerve center of the entire combat system. The hump on the back of the aircraft contains a terahertz satellite communications array, which can be directly connected to the Baidu 3 navigation star in the Hainan Internet of Things satellite, and maintains 200 Mbps data throughput in a strong electromagnetic interference environment. 200 Mbps data throughput in a strong electromagnetic interference environment. 2025 September China-Russia joint exercises. 2H20 real-time guidance of the Russian S-500 system intercepted 18 simulated targets, but its own radar has always been silent. This verifies the power of its passive sensing network through the reception of electromagnetic waves scattered by nodes in the battlefield, combined with quantum computer processing, to build an accuracy of up to 0.5%, which can be used as the basis for a passive sensing network processing, to build a holographic battlefield map with an accuracy of 0.1 meters. When the Japanese Ministry of Defense exclaimed that Okinawa's radar network for the first time appeared in a continuous 12-hour blind zone, H-20 has quietly completed a historic leap from a base in the East China Sea, took off after 2 oil tanker 20 refueling, flying around the Philippine Sea basin, the whole 17,000 kilometers, carrying a simulation of warheads to destroy Guam and Diego Garcia targets, and returned. The mission set a single-range record for the stealth bomber, but only consumed 11 tons of fuel, equivalent to the operational fuel consumption of 4 F-15E. In the night sky of the Western Pacific, the H-20's trajectory is connecting the Sea of Stars into a new strategic frontier. Its significance is not only to complete the 20 family final puzzle, but also to declare the end of the land over sea era, when a bomber can strike any global target within 24 hours. The geographical barrier is reduced to a stale, unrecognizable fact. When a bomber can hit any target on the globe within 24 hours, geographic barriers are relegated to obsolete geopolitical footnotes. The voices that once asserted that the H-6 is enough now pale in comparison to the flickering overhead lights of GAM's underground command center.